the biggest mistake beginner teachers make. This mistake is something that teachers throughout the course of their career can be vulnerable and fall victim to. However, beginner career teachers are particularly at risk of being susceptible to this. And that reason is being exploited. When you're starting off in your teacher career, you feel a lot of pressure to prove yourself in a lot of different ways, whether that's proving yourself to your students or to parents, but also to your colleagues and to your leadership team. And so if you spend your first year or two working your tail off trying to impress your superiors, and then you get a knock on the door and they invite you to, in say your second, third or fourth year, even take on a position of responsibility, whether that's a year level coordinator or a curriculum head, obviously you're incredibly flattered and complimented, and your temptation is to say yes, right? And that's exactly what I did. I was like, sick, I'm a good teacher. I've been telling myself I'm not this whole time, but people finally recognize it. But what I didn't realize, and what a lot of young teachers don't realize, is that you start to notice a pattern that very frequently these kinds of middle management jobs go to younger teachers. And that is because we haven't been in the system long enough to know how tough those jobs are and how bad the turnover is. And so as a result, we've got enough pressure on ourselves as it is trying to find our footing as a teacher, but then we've oversold ourselves and overcommitted, and now we've got additional responsibilities. And this exploitation, let's call it what it is exploitation. The leadership teams know exactly what they're doing by targeting these young teachers, is leading to people burning out before they've even had a chance to find out who they really are as educators. So if you want to learn from my past experience and take my advice if you're starting out in teaching, the rule of thumb that I was given that I should have listened to, but I was too full of myself and my ego got in the way, is don't say yes to a leadership opportunity until you feel ready. My mentor in uni told me ideally year 5, all right? Don't let yourself become a statistic, and actually stick around long enough to make the impact that you set out to make when you started your teaching journey.